This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show, and today I'm pleased to have Trace Cyrus of Ashland High on this show. You're doing great tonight. You're excited tonight. Happy birthday!
Thank you, man. No, man, this is a good night, man. It's my birthday, my first show with my new group, Ashland High, my first performance in 2 years. So, I don't know. I think tonight's history in the making right now. I truly do. I think I'm going to look back to this like 20 years from now and kind of, laugh. I'm playing Chain Reaction. This is my roots, though. I played here back in the day when I first moved to California. So, I'm just trying to go back to my original fans and take the same steps out of my first band, so I'm excited.
Well, this is amazing because, a lot of classic artists have played at Chain Reaction. This is legendary now, so you're in awesome company.
Oh, no, I know, man. I was telling the story on the way over here. I came to see one of my favorite hardcore bands. He is legend here when I was like 16. Broke my finger in the mosh pit. Then the singer took me on stage to like scream with him, and like that was one of the times it was actually here where I was like, it was the first time someone brought me on stage. I was like, this is the sickest feeling ever. If I could do this one day, this would be like a dream come true. And look, it's like 7 years later, and I'm up here doing it again.
There you are, dreams come true.
Exactly.
Okay, Trace, what was your early youth like living in Franklin, Tennessee?
They're a lot different than the California lifestyle. When I moved out here, I felt like I was exposed to a lot more music. At home in Franklin, there's a lot of groups and stuff, but not a lot of people make it out of there. So I always did music at home. I grew up touring with my dad since I was really young, since I was 4 years old. And I don't know, honestly, I was kind of always the loser at my school, the black sheep of my family, and kind of the dude who never fit in. So when I picked up a guitar and started playing, it was just kind of the one thing I was like, man, girls finally think I'm cool, man. People are digging this, people are into it. So I found my calling, man. And I actually started performing local shows in Franklin, Tennessee when I was like 15 and 16 around coffee shops, pizza places. And when my sister got the part out here for Hannah, Montana, I had the decision to stay or to move. And, I've decided, man, the only way I'm going to break out into the musical world is if I move out here and try to make it. So that's what I did.
Were you shocked by the machine here in LA at all?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't been to LA except on the road with my dad, and that was just passing through. And first of all, what I realized about LA is I was exposed to so many, even bad things, partying, girls, drugs, drinking, like shit that in Franklin you would never have. It's just the Bible Belt. It's all about, positive Christian outlook on life. And, I still have a lot of those same beliefs. But when I got sent to California, it was just like a whirlwind of like craziness. And I don't know, I always tell people, I'm like, Hollywood's a dangerous place, man. It's dangerous as hell. And luckily I made it out of Hollywood, because I feel like if I would have stayed in this town, I feel like it would have ate me alive. I feel like I would have lost everything good that I had in myself. It's a great place to live here, but it's very easy to get overwhelmed into the Hollywood glamour lifestyle, I feel like.
What kind of advice did your father, Billy Ray Cyrus, give you about the biz?
I don't think it was more the advice he gave me as much as I studied him. He was like, he was my teacher. I remember, I'll never forget, I was walking through a casino with him, and I had to be like 12 or 13 years old, and I was going up to my own hotel room at the casino, a little kid walking through the casino. My dad's going back to the bus, and I remember him telling me, he was like, he calls me Traz. He was like, Traz, you're going to learn more on this tour than you will your whole next year of school. And like, I didn't know what he meant at the time, and now that I'm grown up, like I think back at all the, when I'm at these gigs, when I'm with my fans, like I think about how my dad did it. My dad would never leave the venue until he signed every autograph and took every picture. And I'm like, that's what I respect. So if I can be like that and be like my dad, then I feel like I'm gonna have a career for the rest of my life, So that's what I'm shooting for.
Okay, now what were the highlights of your time with Metro Station?
Man, the highlights, we had too many good ones, man. Touring the world, my favorite place I got to go to was Malta, Amsterdam, Australia I love Japan. So to me, touring and just realizing how to do the music industry on my own. And I made a lot of mistakes with Metro Station. I was a kid, I was 18 when I got my record deal. And so basically all my mistakes I did there, I'm just kind of trying to correct this time around. But yeah, I would definitely say traveling was the highlight for me. I loved it, man, just seeing fans all around the world.
Then why did you exit Metro Station?
Man, Metro Station, it was a great point in my life, man, the best starting point for my career, but basically we lost a couple members, and unfortunately it was down to me and just another singer in the band. And when you have two guys, it's a lot of butting heads, and unfortunately things didn't work out. But I don't know, those guys still, I appreciate that time. It was the most important time I think of my life. It was my transition from literally a child to an adult, so What we got ourselves into, I don't think we expected it to be as big as it was, but it showed me potentially like what I could do the rest of my life. And I feel like God just put that as a starting point to kind of push me into the music world. So everything happens for a reason.
What are your thoughts on Mason Musso continuing on with Metro Station?
Man, I don't think about it, man. I know I was the one that started that band. I was the one that, I worked hard to build up that name, and forever when people think of Metro Station, they're going to think of me, and that's nothing that nobody can change, I was a big key member of Metro Station, and no matter what anyone does with the name afterwards, the original fans are always going to know the truth, and that's all I care about, man. And I always say good music speaks for itself, and whether to me it's just a band name, man. Whether I'm in Metro Station, Ashland High, whether I, made up some random name tonight and changed the name, it's like I'm going to write good songs. So no matter what group I'm in, I'm going to have success. That's how I look at it. The thing is, when you have the attitude that, you're going to fail, that's the first time you're going to. I know I'm going to win in this business, so I'm not worried, man. I wish Mason the best of luck, and I wish the other guys even more luck.
Sweet, good. All right, what inspired the birth of Ashland High?
Ashland High, man, just basically after I was trying to record the Metro Station CD, man, I was really the only one. I had a bunch of songs myself because I was the one working really hard in the studio, so I had about 5 tracks of just me on it, and it was becoming very difficult to make the Metro Station album, and so I was like, I went through I'm not going to lie, a depressed time where I just thought, this could be the end of my career. I might have to, find another job, do things. I started doing a clothing line and other things, and I thought, maybe my calling's clothing line and acting or something else, but maybe not music, because when you go from the top, I had people like even my mom telling me, you need to do what's safe, the safe thing with the money. And, I had to decide by the end of the day, kind of go back to like Metro Station or go out into a more dangerous way with Ashland High, and that's what I did. So Ashland High just kind of formed after the slow downfall of Metro Station, and the name just came to me. Ashland's my hometown in Kentucky, so that's what everything I do with my clothing line, my band, I try to have something that represents myself, and that's what the name's about, and it's just me being as creative I can as possible.
Your father, Billy Ray, has a Geronimo tattoo.
Yeah.
Now, Geronimo is like a big icon in your life. And you have the Geronimo tattoo, and then you have the new one on your back with the feather, with the headdress and everything. Why is that such an important icon to you guys?
For my dad's taught me about the Native American lifestyle since I was a kid. It's much about their beliefs and how they feel about the land and about people, and it's not as much as a religious thing as like almost like a feeling and like a spiritual, just, I don't know. It's not, it's not like Christianity, I feel like, or anything. It's a very natural belief system. And so I don't know, we try to live like that a lot. And, but still, whenever I see the Geronimo portrait, it reminds me of my dad. My dad, I was adopted when I was a kid. My real dad, he was just, he wasn't very good for me in my life, man. It was tough as a kid, and when Billy Ray came in my life, man, he just took me under his wing. So when I look at the Geronimo picture, like I said, it has to do with the beliefs as well as just reminding me of my dad and all he's done for me, man. He's definitely the only person I can say I truly look up to and aspire to be like. So he's everything to me.
How would you define your Christianity?
I'm a strong Christian, I feel like, but I feel like I have my own beliefs. Like I said, I grew up in the South where it's the Bible.
Do you have custom Christianity, do you think?
No, I don't. I grew up in a church where you had to go every Wednesday, every Sunday, and it was kind of like if you didn't go to church, you were looked at as a bad person. And now I realize like that's not true. As long as I have my own beliefs and I feel like I'm treating people the proper way, and I'm living life the way I feel like it is, and I know I'm doing the right things. I don't try to worry about how other people judge me. Obviously, I don't care about that. I'm very artistic. I'm very creative, and but I feel like you have to be a good person to make it through this life. As best as you can. Anyone with a positive attitude is going to come out on top, I feel like, and that's what I'm trying to do.
So, would you say Jesus Christ is Lord?
Yeah, I'm definitely saved by Jesus, man.
All right. Cool.
I tour with a lot of bands that it's not the cool thing to be a Christian or say you are. On my stomach, like my whole chest piece is just, it's forgiven. It's Jesus on the cross, the Virgin Mary. So it's more the meaning behind it, man. And like I said, I kind of pick and choose exactly what I want because I feel like, the Bible's definitely been interpreted in so many different ways. So I kind of interpret it in the way I think that is the proper way, So that's what I try to do.
And so what do you love most about your fiancée, Disney star Brenda Song?
I guess what I love most about her is she doesn't like me because I'm a in a band. I make songs. I have tattoos or anything. She got to know me for myself, and she was the first girl that did that. I feel like anyone with me before that was with me for all the wrong reasons, and anyone like her, she makes me want to be a better person. So when you find someone that wants to do that, wants to help you do that, I feel like that's the right person for you. She's cleaned up my life in the most positive ways possible.
That's amazing. And how has the prospects of being a father changed your view of life?
Not a father, actually.
She's not pregnant. No. There's been a lot of rumors about that.
I never really got a chance to talk about it too much. She was pregnant, unfortunately. We had a miscarriage, and it was a hard time, man. We didn't plan on ever having a child this young, and then when she got pregnant, we were actually very excited. I don't even know still how it got out in the press originally, because we don't talk about that to anybody but each other and our very close family. So, but in this business, word of mouth can go a long way. So somehow, before we knew it, it was all over the internet, and it was a devastating time when, the miscarriage happened and stuff, but we're happy living together, and like I said, I look at everything like it happened for a reason, and it made me and her realize we definitely want kids in the near future. We're looking to get married soon. We talk about it now and then. We don't have an exact date or anything, but she's got the engagement ring on. I asked her to marry me back in October, so she's the one for me for life, man. I couldn't ever see myself being with anyone else, and definitely one day we're gonna have a big family together. Right now we just have 4 dogs, so we feel like we have some kids, even though they're not they're not our official kids yet, but our puppies take up the majority of our time.
Southern Made, Hollywood Paid.
SMHP, also known as Southern Made Hollywood Paid, is just it's an idea I came up with actually when I was on the road with Metro Station, and I always wanted to do a clothing line, and with the success Metro Station had, we were always busy, so I didn't want to half-ass it. It was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to put my heart and soul into it. And so when I got off the road and Metro Station took a break, I released the line. I got Miley to model it. I got my fiance to model it, and it's grew into something very big. I think for me, not touring, it did better than I thought, and once I get back on the road and people realize that I have the clothing line out who don't know about it, and my new band, I think hopefully it sheds a lot more light. It's just starting to get into some stores and stuff. You can pick it up online, of course, but I can't wait to see it grow even more. It's doing well. Quickly,
what do you think makes your clothing line unique?
I think I'm a unique guy, so I think I'm the one who puts a lot of the input on the designs, the ideas, so that's why I made it, man. It's hard for me to find clothes that I like, so I was like, I'm going to give my fans something that I enjoy, and hopefully they enjoy it too.
What brings you the most peace in your life right now?
The most peace in my life? Probably just music, man. When I was just up on that stage doing sound check, it was my first sound check in a couple years, and I got overwhelmed just rocking out at sound check, man. I realized that this is when I'm happiest. I've been so stressed out this show coming up. I've had to buy thousands of dollars worth of gear. I had to, a lot of people think Ashland High is a full band. Ashland High is just me. It's one guy. I write the songs, I do it, and I have producers help me, but it's a one-man group. I don't even have a label or anything. I'm the bank, I'm the label, I'm everything. I just got a manager like a week or 2 ago, so it's a hard job, but somebody got to do it, I feel like.
What would you tell somebody that's thinking about committing suicide?
Oh Lord, man. I wouldn't even know what to say, man. I've been in those states when I was younger, but life gets tough, but there's always brighter days ahead, man. You can't. I feel like we were talking about this actually the other night about suicide and stuff. One of my friends' schools, a kid committed suicide, and it makes me sick to see someone do that to their life, because there's so much to live for, and you just gotta. I live every day like it's my last, man, and that's how everyone should do it, man. Life's too much of a blessing to take it from yourself.
Sweet. What's next for Ashland High and Trace Cyrus?
Ashland High. After this, we hit the road in a couple weeks. We're going on tour with Breathe Carolina, the Ready Sets, another artist, I forget his name, he's opening before me. So it's my first tour in a few years, and I just plan on going out, hanging by the merch table the whole time, hanging out with my fans, getting back off the road, and I probably think around that time I'll be negotiating a real record deal.
Trace Cyrus, thank you so much for being on the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show. Blairing Out with Eric Blair with Trace Cyrus, signing off.
The Blairing Out show.